the PI show. My name's Harry Nowicki. I'm a personal injury lawyer and I'm here together with a colleague, Tony Carbone.
Good evening, Harry. Good evening,
and
viewers.
We're talking tonight about a number of court cases involving injuries to people, mainly on farms. Tonight, Tony.
Yeah.
So they throw up a lot of interesting factual situations and how does the law apply to people working on farms. Now, before we get to that, you're going to tell us what's in the news,
There's
Tony?
a lot in the news, Harry, but an interesting case is a teenager who was riding a cycle, a push bike, and the spoke or the fork in the bike collapsed and she sustained significant head injuries and she's got brain damage.
And it was a teenager under 8?
She was 15 at the time of the accident, so she was
very young, teenager. And it just broke unexpectedly without any...
It's just a defect in manufacturing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, in effect, what she's done is she's, through a litigation guardian, sued the retailer that sold the bike, plus the company that brought the bike in.
The importer.
The importer.
Yeah, the importer.
And the judge made an interim judgment, awarded some money to the family to assist, mainly to cover
respite care.
Yeah. 24-hour care, Harry. So interim damages in the short term are $230,000 and a bit more than that, and that's just to cover the child in the short term.
In the short term for the parents, the claim's obviously worth millions of dollars.
And the first two defendants have also joined the manufacturer in Germany as a cross-claim.
And I think the manufacturer was going to join the Taiwanese welder who welded the piece.
Yeah,
so I think there's a whole chain of people who are going to be joined outside Australia, but joined in court in Australia. And one thing is there security of costs? How's the judgment going to be enforced outside Australia, Tony?
Yeah, look, I don't know the answer to that, but obviously it's an insurance dispute here.
Hopefully it's an insurance dispute, Tony.
I think it is, yeah.
Hopefully it's an insurance dispute.
But look, if it
and
was
I suppose one insurer can pay and then recover from all the others.
And you'd think if there's reinsurance involved that the international companies that would find ways.
Find ways of recovering.
Yeah, you think so.
Yeah.
But of interest is whether the teenager will be compensated. Well, the fact that she's got this interim payment, you'd think she'd get appropriate compensation.
Yeah. Look,
so liability is not an issue. I'd imagine if it's under the Trade Practices Act, that
there's strict liability.
Yeah, liability is pretty clear cut.
Yeah.
Another interesting case, Harry, involves another teenager.
Yeah.
Involved in a push bike accident again, a bicycle. She come off her bike in 2004 and sustained really nasty injuries. But in 2006, her along with a friend killed one of the occupants of the house. They drugged, bludgeoned and strangled Ms. Mitchell in a house that they were sharing.
This is in West Australia, I think, Tony. Yeah.
And then they knelt over her body and kissed. It was like some sort of a ritual or something. It was just
nasty,
really nasty.
Murder.
Very, very nasty circumstances and just really weird and bizarre. And they both got 20 years jail. Sorry, 24 years jail. As a minimum. Now, she subsequently wants compensation for the injuries she had prior to the murder. So
there's some suggestion there was some brain damage in the bicycle incident, is there?
She's got some brain damage out of that. But obviously it wasn't enough to...
Is she... Tell me this, is she statute barred? Can she pursue the claim? Did she report the bicycle incident initially?
I believe she did, yes.
Okay.
So I don't think that's an issue. I think the real issue here is there was a lot of debate as to whether she should be compensated, seeing that she's going to be almost a lifetime in jail. I mean, she'll be probably in her 40s when she gets out.
More, yeah.
Because she was only young when she murdered...
But there's no loss of earnings, Tony?
No.
I wouldn't think.
No, there's no loss of earnings.
Wouldn't think.
It's very speculative because, I mean, if she got out at 44, she'd have to look for work and she's got other problems, I guess.
Yeah.
But, that's what that's all about. I mean, and plus there's a bit of an outcry as to whether she should be compensated in view of the fact that post her accident she
committed an atrocious murder.
Yeah. So the law's very interesting, Harry. It raises a lot of issues every day and we don't all agree with what goes on, I guess.
No, but she's got some entitlements, you'd think, under the legislation.
I don't think the fact that she's killed someone should preclude her if she's got nasty injuries, albeit it's in bad taste, I guess.
Yeah, it does leave a bad taste.
Yeah.
But, Tony, tonight we're going to talk about two cases decided, one in Victoria and one in New South Wales by Supreme Court judges. And the first one involves a woman, 67-year-old woman, who was hit in the face by a horse.
Yeah, she was kicked in the face during the delivery process.
A mare kicked her in the face, and it delivered a foal, and she was sort of cleaning it up. That's my understanding.
Fixing up. And, there's a procedure you've got to follow.
Yeah. And the horse, she was around the horse, and then the horse suddenly
just lashed out
without warning.
Yes.
Kicked her. She sued her employer.
Yes.
Why is the employer liable?
Well, the employer's got a non-delegable duty of care to its workers, and the employer's got to ensure that there's a safe system of work, Harry. And that's what the case went into, whether the employer was negligent in the way that they conducted themselves at the birth.
But the horse just does something unexpected and without warning. The employer just didn't know anything about it, Tony.
No, what the judge went into, Harry, was it was a stud farm, so their job was to look after mares in foal. So they were experienced, and also they should have had safe work practices. Now, after a foal's born, you've got to tie up the placenta and all sorts of things and make sure that the remnants come out as well. Clean up the mare. Now, they went into a lot of detail about the risks associated with that, carrying out that procedure, and also industry standards and what other people do, and who was available to assist her and things like that. So there was also experts giving evidence about the nature of the duties and how dangerous and risky they were. And although there was an industry practice that you only had one person
after delivery,
the judge in his wisdom found that it was such a high risk task to perform that there should have been two people doing it. That's what he found.
Look, I think what's interesting is that it wouldn't have been hard to organise a second person because the stables were just close by to a house.
Very close to the house where I think the supervisor was. So it
would have been easy to call his supervisor in.
Harry, it's a good time to go to a sponsors break. You got this cough, so viewers, stay tuned. Don't go away. We'll be back very shortly, and we'll come back to this case.